like EA, right? I mean, it makes for great marketing material, press release material. When we sell into new markets like Asia, having large names on board like that can be a very compelling reason for them to come on board with tech as well. But our heart and soul really lies with the indie developer, the folks starving at home trying to get that first game out, making a big hit. So, we're not going to focus on either end of the spectrum in particular. But going back to the original question, EA has been very happy with it. We do continue to talk with them. We can't tip our hand on what's there. There are NDAs in place, and I'm sure I know he's on the chat. He's our head of biz dev, and he's probably got his hand on the phone ready to tell me to shut up already. So, look, we're talking with them, and hopefully we're going to see more exciting stuff from EA and other studios in the future.
Okay. July299 from our chat asks, what sort of improvements in terms of networking can be expected?
Well, that's hard to say. We're having to take a look at what are we doing around, multiplayer support. The long-term vision of wanting, easy multiplayer capabilities is definitely still in place, just like it's always been. I think one of our internal jokes has been to create the can has MMO button, where, can it be a one-button add-on would be ideal. I don't think that'll ever happen, but our whole goal is about making game development easier. And part of that, especially in the last few years, has been this increasing desire to have multiplayer games. And now everyone runs around and wants to say they're going to create the next MMO, and most people really don't mean that. But meaningful interactions player to player in real time, whether on a small scale or large scale, is a key component of games today, and what, the social factors that brings in. So we're going to be, continuously wanting to improve it. Do we continue down the path of our existing feature set? Do we, some folks have asked to back out on that and do something all new because they're not happy with it. We're not ready to commit to any plans there. And in 3.0, there's nothing in terms of big specific multiplayer features that we're ready to announce. During the 3X lifecycle, I'm sure that you're going to see some changes, because it's a feature area that we know we could do more on, and we know that we really want to and need to. So, easier and more capable would be the larger term goals, and we'll see how we get there exactly. That's up to our dev engineers and some more research.
Okay, now we come to questions about the terrain editor. Balmung from the German Unity community asks if there is a support for bump and normal mapping at terrains.
No, I don't believe so. That's not a feature I've heard about. If folks really have nice tweaks like that, please get them up onto the feedback site. And, we definitely, every feature in Unity is something that we want to keep going. We try not to introduce features that, we have to back away from for any reason. And, the terrain and nature rendering engine is an awesome piece of technology that we have. And, there's improvements that are needed in terms of optimization, so that, maybe one day we can have it, iPhone and Android supported. And then there's, visual features like that. And then, other ones like a tree editor inside of Unity 3.0 that's going to be coming out, that are already going to be in place to make it easier and more effective of a feature. But those that you asked about are not something that's coming in the 3.0 release.
Okay, next question to terrains. Balmung again asks if we can make holes in the terrain for caves, if that is possible in Unity 3.
Well, there's no built-in cave feature set, but caves and cutouts like that have been possible for a while, using a couple of simple techniques. And a longtime forum member, although he's been in lurk mode and kind of in hiding, those who remember him, Yagi, aka Forrest Johnson in real life, he was somebody that as soon as the terrain engine came out was starting to play with it. And he's got an ages-old post on the forums that shows how you can actually do it already today with our terrain engine. It's just not the built-in feature where you make your terrain and tick the box for make a cave and do some kind of extrusion or whatnot to make that happen. But it is possible. There are techniques that let you make them today, and they work nicely. But nothing that's going to be like again built into the editor. Here it is. But these are part of the long-term roadmap is to allow stuff like that, punch holes, make caves, those kinds of things. We'd like to see that kind of stuff eventually.
Okay, the next question is again about terrain editor, and it's a more general question, and Yes. Are there other important things or changes in the terrain editor?
Well, really, I mean, I think that the one biggest one that stands out to me is again, the tree editor allows folks to do, kind of asset creation inside of Unity itself. And again, that's the terrains are the only place where we really kind of offer that functionality, the ability to paint terrains and, your height maps and all that. And so we thought, well, let's go ahead and make the ability for trees. Um, but there's nothing that's really standing out in my mind as specific features, and I hope I'm not offending anyone on the engineering team by forgetting something there. But that's really the kind of the key feature add we have for that area in the 3.0 launch. We'll see what else we might roll out in the 3.x life cycle.
Okay, now we come to another live question from Dukoru, and he asks if we will see other learning resources for Unity 3 soon.
Well, yeah, you bet. And this starts internally with our own documentation effort. I mentioned that the Unity 3.0 docs, every script example is in every script language, C#, JavaScript, and Boo. And it's this nice little drop-down arrow that you'll see next to the code examples, and you just click it, and you can select which one you want. Or when you're in the reference menu, the component reference, you can optionally turn on or off based on your platforms of interest. Whether you're doing Android, iOS, or desktop and web. So we're definitely beefing up our own documentation, right? That's where it all starts, is having core reference material. But as I mentioned, that's reference material. You don't learn to speak English by picking up English dictionary. Training and learning resources really need to go a step beyond. And so, we are going to have some new example projects. Obviously, we're going to ship with Unity, and we're going to continue to look at new tutorials that we're going to post. But I think where there's some really exciting changes are, of course, in terms of third-party resources. We are in the process of reviewing a couple of books, additional books that are going to be coming out about Unity. We are in the process of helping third-party sites like Noesis Interactive and their Design 3 website, which is a subscription-based video training on demand site, and they're getting 3.0 content wrapped up so that it'll be ready at launch. On to others like Will Goldstone, who continues to not only assist us with the feature preview videos, but he's got his own, I believe it's unity3dstudent.com website. So we're going to have some on our own, and then of course we're working with external partners because that's their business. That's where we can really leverage their capabilities and time and resources. We focus on the core tool and technology, provide some basic materials, maybe some more tutorials, and then let them really run wild and create just volumes and volumes of it, whether it's online or in print.
Okay, another live question is from Alexan. He asks if there will be an official marketplace for Unity assets like Unity prefabs.
It's something we've been talking about since well before these sites started to crop up. Obviously for us, again, as part of making the development process easier, this would be a nice component to have, right? I mean, we would like, you as game developers to really, your mind should almost be able to be read by the application so that it knows what you need and just kind of almost, does it. So part of that is making game development easier is connecting artists with people that need artwork or models, or scripters that can sell scripts or game frameworks. So yeah, we look at Unity prefabs and other sites like it that are coming up, and that's we need. And so I think you're going to see something from us for sure. As part of the long-term planning of our company, that I tip my hat as to too many details, but we want to make sure that there are healthy marketplaces for Unity developers to go to for art assets, scripts, and whatnot. And so we're going to make our plans and make sure that they fit well with some of the third-party efforts that are going on, because clearly a lot more work is needed there. The collaboration section on the forums has turned into a little bit of a mess in that is it hiring for project work? Are you looking to swap art for code? What's happening there? And that's just not meeting the needs. So yeah, you're going to see more movement from us, and it'll probably roll out in a few different stages over the coming months to year or two.
Okay, next question is if there will be some changes in the Unity script system.
Well, that's kind of large and vague of a of a question.